G'day everybody and welcome to the Risky Rollers podcast. I'm Locky and I'm joined with...
Jake. I'm back once again to talk 40k. Here we go.
This is your cue.
Cue for what?
Dude, you could do the harmony. You could be like... Have you not seen that South Park episode?
No.
God, you suck. Anyway, hello everybody, and welcome to another episode of us in your ear holes talking about all things hobby, 40k, and risky roller related goodness. Before we get into all this, big thanks to all our sponsors, as per usual. Tim at Dice Arcade.
Dice Arcade.
Yeah, Dice Arcade, 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 Dice Arcade.
That blind guy that does all the audio cues, we need him for all the promo stuff.
No, what we need to do, and this is totally ripping off someone else, but whatever. We need to come up with little what do you call them? Like not glitches. Jingles for each one. So when we say like, oh, you know, Tim from Dice Arcade, we're like Dice Arcade, Dice Arcade, Dice Arcade, da 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 da. And then when we say
No, but it should be like orcs. It's like come
yeah, that could be one of them.
Come get your gubbins.
Yeah, and then you go when we say big thanks to Tim from Miniature Scenery, we're like miniature scenery, and then that's the orc one or whatever. Yeah. So, you know, before I get distracted, big thanks to also Tim from Miniature Scenery for being another sponsor of the channel for everything MDF, terrain, and all other bits and pieces, including models. Head over there. Links are in the description. Finally, big thanks to Galen at the Trade Ticker for all your bespoke and custom dice trays. The stuff he uses is amazing, and you see it in every bat rep that we do. The quality of product there is second to none.
It's a nice box.
Oh yeah, it is, and you can get it in multiple colors.
Sure.
You're choosing. We don't discriminate here, Riskrellas.
No.
Right. So, standard intro. What have you been working on, Jake?
Oh, bro, you know what? I had to dig time out of my day for this podcast because it is scrambling for VTC prep. Is pumping Grey Knights like there's no tomorrow.
I love it how you just tell everyone what you're playing.
What do you mean? Because they're not going to see the list the week before.
Yeah, but they won't know now.
They know now.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
I mean,
that's a whole week. So list got delayed, right? So list submission is Queen's birthday weekend.
Lucky it got delayed because otherwise I would have just not submitted a list this weekend.
Bro, we'd be stuffed as well.
And
I'm not even playing. Our team would be stuffed.
No, but because I didn't know when list submission was, I assumed it was a week out like every other tournament.
No, it was 2 weeks and then they delayed it to be a week. Yeah. No.
Yeah, right.
Is it still 2 weeks?
No,
still 2 weeks. No, still 2 weeks.
It's 2 weeks out because it's the 13th and then it's the 25th.
But it was going to be this weekend.
Yeah, which, I mean, I'm sure there's other events that do that, but yeah, I've never competed in an event that's been more than a week out. So I didn't...
Well, I think to be honest, the reason why they do it a week out now is because of the vast... Well, I guess the speed at which Games Workshop is punching stuff out. So it's too hard, you know. You can't have a 3-week window where something can change and completely just stuff people's gameplay. Yeah. Which is good. I mean, I think it's a good choice on their end. So big ups to the BTC crew and the TOs and the organisers for pushing that out because I think it has helped a lot of teams. I can't speak for you, but for our team, it's definitely helped a lot.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know what the rest of my team is bringing. I know what the factions are, but I have no idea what their lists are at this point.
Did you just say you don't know what the rest of your team is bringing?
No, I know what army they're bringing, but I don't know their lists at this point.
Okay. So the Risky Rollers version 2, the Risky Rollers B team is going to actually be like the Z team because do you guys even know how the pairing stuff works and everything?
Nah.
Okay. Maybe we'll give you guys a crash course before we start, so at least you can understand how it works. Maybe at the club day. Maybe next weekend at the club day.
That would be great.
Yeah, so we'll help you with that.
I mean, I'm aware how pairings work. The only thing I don't know about pairings is who makes the decisions, right? So, like, if you've got two teams, and yeah, if you've got two teams, and the person, like, who makes a selection out of those two teams as to who's getting the pairings?
So the way VTC is working, and this is what I've been told by Dalton, because I've actually had to take a little bit of a step back due to me actually not being able to play. So my spot is being replaced by another Risky Rollers member. But the way it works is basically each team will have a blind pair. So what you have is a both teams will put a list face down, right, and just put a list aside. And then each team has their threes to use. And this could be, usually it's all four of you sitting opposing each other. You roll a dice, whoever goes first then gets to, so whoever wins the roll will put up a list,
Okay.
put up two lists, and then they will give those, and then the opponent will go, all right, I look at these two lists, and they will pair it into, I go, oh, okay, well, we want these two, we want to pick, Army A. We'll put our Army A into that, and then usually they'll put up another one as well, which then gives them the other one.
Right.
I think. I don't know. It's more like Dalton knows a bit more about it, but that's kind of how it goes.
The only thing I didn't understand was who's making that initial decision. That was the only part I didn't understand. The rest of pairings and how they work, I get. Like, I get, how the team concept works. It was just the only thing I didn't know was who's making that initial decision.
Yes, it's normally the captain. So it's normally the two captains will sit there with,
or
whoever. Like, for example, for ATC, it wasn't. Lee, our captain, was there alongside Dean and Jez.
No. And I get that the captain would logically make that decision, but there's two captains, obviously, and you maybe don't necessarily want to be the person putting up two armies first, right? And I was like, how do you get to the bottom of that? Is it like a point system? Like, obviously,
because then it flips. So whoever, say in the first round of pairings, you're the team that puts up.
Yeah.
Then the other person will pair into you. Then the other team puts up, and then you pair into them.
Okay. Yeah.
Right. So you alternate. But then with VTC, contrary to other team events like ATC, for example, you're only doing three, because the fourth one is that you've put down blind. That's your blind pair, and that just gets auto paired at the end. So it's an interesting change on the system, which is
So like, if you're trying to keep what you typically be your sword list, like, a really strong sword list in the reserve, to match up against something, and that good matchup doesn't come up, then you could end up with your quote unquote most aggressive list going into something really they don't want to be going into with the whole blind pairing.
No.
What?
So you'd never want a strong sword to be your blind pair.
No, but it could happen by accident, right?
It could.
Because
and this is where
you're sort of waiting for that. That's what I'm saying. No, you wouldn't want it to happen, obviously, but it could happen because you put up a moderate pairing for the first few, and then, like, can you bait someone into spending their sword negatively on the
Of course,
pairing?
yeah, 100%. That's kind of the skill with pairing.
Yeah.
Is literally,
can you bait them into putting their best list into their blind pairing where they could end up in a really bad situation? I like it. I think it's cool.
Yes. So the thing about pairings, which is, it's well above my head in terms of how the mind games that work with it. Like, Dalton knows it really well, not only from learning from ATC and learning from you could argue is probably the best pairer in the country, which is Jeremy Martinez, who's on Team Australia for WTC and was the pairer for the Vic team at ATC. He can pretty much get any matchup he wants, and they just know how the structure works really well. And there's a combination of things like mind games and what you want to throw around and it's obviously it changes when you've got an 8-player team.
Yep.
And 4 players obviously condenses how much wiggle room you can have. But there is a lot of and this is where it comes into like list construction and your lineup and all those other bits and pieces, because you build lists for your pairings, you build lists for the not so much for meta, like you do obviously for meta in the big outliers, i.e., you know, your Hail of Doom, Eldar list, your Mortal Wound, Tyranids lists, your whatever, right? That you know are going to exist, and you can. But the thing is, you can pair around them. You can work around them to make sure that a matchup is either, you know, favorable for you or neutral for both parties, where you kind of end up being kind of a bit of a roll the dice. So yeah, I mean, we did a brief kind of, I guess, analysis slash introduction to how pairings kind of works in our post ATC and pre ATC podcast. So if you guys are a bit more interested, you can go into that, and we will. Dalton and I will be doing a much more in depth sort of teams process pairings thing next. That'll be our next one. Our next podcast will be about that, because it'll be right on the doorstep of VTC, just to give our listeners a bit more of an understanding of how the process works for those of you who aren't aware of how it's structured.
Yeah,
but it's interesting. So yeah, look, you kind of need to know, because realistically, you could have the best lists in the world.
Yeah, it doesn't mean crap at the end of the day. It doesn't mean crap in a team setting.
It doesn't, because you can get paired around and get rooted.
Yeah.
Pretty heavily. So it's definitely a facet of the game that most people aren't aware of. And if you aren't aware of how it works from a functional perspective, yeah, you can get smashed.
Yeah.
But we're not talking about teams or VTC and stuff tonight, even though we've dragged a bit on. What have you been working on, mate? Just GK, that's it.
Yeah, but today a whole bunch of Seraphon rocked up as well, which is super exciting. I now have 1,000 points.
Stupid lizard people, right?
What do you mean? Lizards are sick.
Okay, I thought they were lame until I actually saw the models that you got, that Rusky did for you, and they actually look sick.
Bro, mine are awesome. Like,
yeah, they're so good. They're so much better than.
Yeah, they're so much better. And I haven't even got into getting big lizards done yet. Like, I think the next thing for me to get will be Carnosaurs, which are like
Carnosaurs. Yes, they're like T-Rexes. Yeah, they're basically T-Rexes.
They're little lizards riding T-Rexes, and it's sick. And
Velociraptor on a
that's what
T-Rex.
No, that's what I got today. I got little lizards riding velociraptors. Basically, I got Saurus Knights.
It's like skinks, like blue tongues. Watch blue tongues.
Yeah, blue tongues riding velociraptors.
Velociraptors
with clubs. It's sick. It's very
clubs. That's hilarious.
Well, yeah, because they're quote unquote Aztec, where they didn't have access to metal. You know what I mean? So they just got sticks and just tied obsidian into them and just smash people with glass. So
I'm gonna put something out there that's funny, and I've been listening to a bit of AOS podcasts lately, and I kind of think this is a really funny community lore, slash meme slash thing. So you know the two lost Primarchs, right?
Yeah.
One of the theories floating around is that because technically AOS and fantasy exists in the same universe as 40k, right?
Yeah.
That Sigma and I don't know who, someone else, is actually the two lost Primarchs.
Yeah, right.
That basically, so they're in. It's like a parallel dimension.
Oh, so they got Marvel Universe, multiverse.
Yeah, multiverse style, right? Like they've already kind of more or less confirmed that by the fact that the gods exist in parallel, right? And then because the Seraphon, which is like, or their gods or whatever, the big the croak or whatever, the big frog people, they're like they have spaceships, and at the end of Ninth Age, they basically got in their spaceships and the end of the Ninth Age, which was the birth of AOS, is where they got in their spaceships and left.
Yeah.
But then the theory is the fact that the croak or whatever have a connection to like the Necrons and the old ones.
Yeah.
Which is super cool. I was like, oh man, if they were actually to link it, I go. Some people are going to be sitting there go, oh, Locky, that's so stupid, it's hater. But I like the idea of a cohesive world.
But your miniatures are supposed to be fun, yeah? Like, Necron Frogs is cool.
Necron Frogs is awesome. I love that. I reckon
Frogcrons.
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 I mean, like, you could make some crazy stuff there. Anyway. So, today, just on a bit of a overview of what we're going to cover today. So we're
No,
going to cover a
hang
few
on.
things.
Back up 2 seconds, because I know you just finished painting it. What have you been doing?
Oh, what have I been doing?
What are you doing?
What am I doing, man?
What are those?
I am. That's what Austin says all the time. My son, he's always like, "Daddy, what are you doing? What are you doing?" And we're like, "Shut up, leave me alone." I am knee deep in heresy. I'm knee deep in 30k.
Yeah.
Like I'm hook, line, and sinker. I'm loving it. I've just finished my first Red Butcher, so the models are all painted, but I just did the first base on one, trying to confirm. So we're going old, obviously. Heresy scheme, blood everywhere. World Eaters with a red base.
Yeah,
Red Mars style base.
We just had a discussion on Rimmies for red bases. And,
yeah. We decided on a brown rim.
Yeah.
There's nothing better than a nice brown rim.
Yep. With
a bit of red in the inside. It's good.
Jesus.
Literally, my base is a butthole. And that's good.
Yep.
No. So yeah, I've been knee deep in that. In the middle of touching on some Death Guard as well. So I've kind of stepped away from NIDs at the moment. Unfortunately, I'd love to keep going with the NIDs. I have a lot to paint, but I'm full steam ahead in Chaos. So I'm adding a lot of key things to Death Guard. We're adding some Spawn. We're adding Mortarion. We're adding
so much
more
Chaos.
Terminators. No, and then Chaos.
Yeah, I said so much Chaos.
Yes, so much Chaos, and then World Eaters. So
more Chaos.
I'll hopefully. Well, no, not hopefully. I will have, and I'm saying this now. Dalton's probably gonna scream at me after this. Going, why did you say that? Our first 30k battle report will be World Eaters versus someone. It will most likely be World Eaters versus Sons of Horus, and it'll be 1,000 points because I have 1,000 points, and it'll be awesome.
Yes.
Yes. So yeah, that's the focus of what we've been hobbying. Yeah, so moving on to what we've kind of got planned for tonight or today episode. So we're going to cover a few things. We're going to cover the today's release or preview of the Possessed, which are the new CSM Possessed, which are fucking awesome.
Yes.
Just gonna straight up say that pure data sheet wise is
just
great.
Flat linear power, I bitch slap you with all my tentacles.
Yeah, it's great. And then we're gonna pivot a little bit and actually talk about which has been in the media a bit with Games Workshop and the stuff they're doing, which is about their video games.
Yes.
So it's a little bit different. But a few of the games we're going to probably cover a little bit of Space Marine 2. We're going to cover some stupid ass thing they've released, which we'll get to
let's
later.
just say there's good and bad coming up in this podcast.
There's a lot more bad than good, put it that way.
There's two. Yeah, we might just get stuck on
bad.
Yeah.
We'll get stuck on the bad. We'll try not to, but we'll get stuck on the bad. And then look, there's a few other things to do with squats, leaks, and stuff, but they will come later. And hold your breath, everyone. But the Knights Codex reviews are coming shortly, so we're going to get a deep dive into those books to make sure that we can give you our in-depth opinions.
Lawrence is still crying.
Yeah, I'm after playing a lot of games, man. I'm actually not as butthurt as originally when we last spoke.
Oh, bro,
you just run
a knight into a line and just explode on a 4+. Or apparently, Imperial Knights can just auto explode. You just run in and D6 mortal wound everyone. It doesn't even matter if you die.
Yeah,
I lost so many Blood Angels to you. I lost half my army just on mortal wounds. You didn't actually kill that much. It was just, now I explode. Eviscerate everything.
You know what was worse? It was just straight up...
the Dreadnought that died without getting
killing
shot.
A Redemptor without even being shot. It's hilarious. Anyway, you guys will see that happen at in an upcoming battle report, so... Don't worry, you'll understand, and we do have a spicy one coming up next, which is showcasing both books. So stay tuned for all that stuff. It is coming soon. So, as we've been talking, these Possessed, bro.
So many good.
Give us a rundown.
So many good tentacles. Well, I mean, strength 5,
Do you have
toughness
it up?
5. No, I don't have it up. I'm getting it up now.
So, the possessed stat line is movement 9, weapon skill ballistic skill 3, strength 5, toughness 5, 3 wounds, 5 attacks, which is oof, and then 3 up save. 9 in leadership. Who gives a fuck about leadership? It's oof. 5 attacks each is heavy. Heavy.
Do you think they'll be heavily pointed though?
No. They need chaos to come out with a bang. And
Yeah.
I think I don't think that the CSM book is going to come out broken. I think it might come out Custodies level.
That was a little bit
So
broken.
no, wasn't
A little bit broken.
Okay, it was kind of broken when it first came out. But I think the reason why that was perceived as broken based on everything else that was out at the time. So with everything that's out at the time, Tao's still a thing. Needs are very much still a thing. Death Guard's got a new lease on life. There's a few things that are gonna, potentially, if this was when it was supposed to be released, it might have had a bit more of a
Oh, like if it was released on schedule without COVID, it probably would have.
and
Is that what you mean?
yeah,
Yeah.
hugely, because you got to understand, like if they did the release cycle as per intention, Armor of Contempt wouldn't exist.
Yeah. Okay.
So there's a lot of things that would, I mean, but it's hearsay, right? Because then you go, well, therefore the things would have come out a different way, and the balanced data slate would be different, yada yada. You don't know what you don't know, right? But I think that I think they will come out strong, and I think the strength in the Chaos book is going to be the high level play. And we've kind of touched on this last time we spoke about the Chaos stuff, where there is going to be some linear power,
Yep.
but it's not going to be like increase the data sheets like Tyrannid's got. It's not going to be. I reckon it's going to sit on the Eldar level. It's going to sit on the Eldar level where straight up power, people are going to be like, "This is stupid. This doesn't make sense." Da, da, da. But then after a period of time, and people find the minutiae of it, it's going to kind of like what CSM is now in ways. You got guys, especially in Australia, that are killing it with Iron Warriors and Emperor's Children. That are just finding it to work and just slaying. Dean from Blood for the Blood Gods just mincing with his Emperor's Children. He just knows chaos so well.
Was it 2 tournaments he's down now?
Oh yeah, and just like not losing.
Yeah.
Like even at ATC, I didn't even think it dropped a game, or it might have dropped one. With a quote unquote subpar meta list, and that's 8th edition. So I do think it's going to fit in that, because it's going to be a big book. It's going to be a big book. There's going to be a lot of combinations. One of the rumors is the fact of, and this is a rumor, so this is not confirmed, but that you're going to be able to take 25% demons.
I've heard that thrown around as well. That you
So it'll depend on how.
factions.
Yeah, it depends on how that works. So, for example, if you can take 25% demons without breaking, and you can still get all the demon strats and everything, because demons are reliant on that, that'll be really strong, because you can take 25% demons, 60% CSM, and you can take a knight. So you can essentially have 3 armies in one without any loss of bonuses, and getting 3 armies bonuses in one, which will be really cool. Really cool. So I hope they actually do that, and I hope they find a way to not make that broken.
It's funny. It's funny if they go ahead and do that though, like, because now you're crossing books, but they've just, like, this year they've data slated it that you can't take like multiple like brotherhoods, for example, for Grey Knights, but it's a bit. I sort of hope they, like, it'd be cool if they did do it, but then it's like, if you're playing Grey Knights, let me take 2 brotherhoods. This guy's taking demons and knight, and I can't take 2 brotherhoods. Seems a bit dumb to restrict with one hand and not with the other.
Well, I mean, to be honest, in my opinion, and this is just my personal opinion, but it makes sense. All chaos should be able to suit.
Yeah, no, it makes
entirely. It makes sense faction wise.
No, it does.
Right?
But don't give with one hand and take with the other. Like, sisters can't.
But 2 Eldar craft worlds would never be fighting. I mean, they might on a big galactic scale, but in the scale of 40k skirmish, they wouldn't be. When you just wouldn't.
Yeah, but
you wouldn't have them.
But having 2 sisters I don't know what they call their like.
Orders.
Yeah.
They don't. It's the same. They don't. Like the order separation is so in the law, right? So again, digressing a little bit to the law, the orders don't mix.
Okay.
Unless like it's thing like Cadia and Celestine's there and blah, 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 let's all wank each other off, whatever. Right?
But, okay. I mean, so.
But in terms of the spectrum of the game corresponding to the law, they're not. They're not. You don't have multiple orders fighting together. You don't even have multiple chapters of Space Marines fighting together unless it's like a massive thing.
Yes, true. But okay. Now that I'm thinking about all this, now I want like to be able to, because you will be able to take an Imperial Knight and a Space Marine army, and then
you can now. Yeah.
But then it would be cool, like, if they can take 20%, 25% demons, you can take 25% guard or something. That'd be cool.
That would be great. So now we're kind of crossing into those bounds of like, well, homogenous rules and those kinds of things. That's just not something that Games Workshop's
just be better,
right?
G-Dub.
Yeah.
Just
no, I know. Yeah, and I agree with you, man. I think it would be sick.
Because like being able to take 25% of guard, where you just have like, heavy, like, I don't know, because guard don't suffer the -1 to hit for indirect fire, like mortar teams or something. It'd be cool, Or you just take a.
That's
take
why
a
I'm still holding it. So it's annoying because GSC lost because you only proc that rule if you're regiment keyword, where Brood Brothers in GSC override the regiment keyword. They get so anything that has the regiment keyword you can take, but then you lose that keyword and then you get Brood Brothers. So you technically lose the bonuses in the data slate. However, I still reckon they're gonna leave a loophole where when the guard book gets updated to be good, you're going to be able to take GSC and like really good shooting, and it's going to be strong.
Yeah.
I reckon tail end.
As soon as the guard book comes out, the GSC book gets updated as well. Like.
Yes, exactly. You essentially get 2 in 1.
Yeah.
And to be honest, I like those things. Like I'm not advocating for 7th edition Taudar kind of bullshit, but I do like the idea
the fuck
of
is that,
lorically. It's where you could take Tau and Eldar together.
I mean, I figured that, but like, how?
Yeah, because you could just ally with stupid factions that made no sense. It was the detachment rules and stuff. It was just dumb.
Yeah. Okay.
So I like the idea of armies that make sense lorically.
Yeah.
Fighting together.
Yes.
Fight together.
Yes.
Like it's
I like that as
cool.
well.
And then write your rules accordingly.
Write your rules.
Right. Whatever. Yeah. Well, yeah, there's that too. So anyway, and then also, sorry, just quickly on this possessed rule, their melee weapon is strength 5, neg 2, 2 damage.
It's good.
Now, there's not as much neg 1 damage floating around as there used to be, or there is, but people
they're just not taking it.
It's harder for people to tech to.
It feels like it's not as prevalent, even though the same availability is still there. It's just not as widely used.
And that's because of like things like the balanced data slate changes that you can't double up and whatever.
Yeah.
But that's great. It's an amazing data sheet. And then they do caveat it saying that there's some. What did they say? There's the possessed can also let the galaxy burn in bold, which obviously is either a stratagem or a rule or something. It's a new ability that they haven't leaked, which I'm assuming is just going to be like extra attacks or extra AP or extra something.
Exploding sixes or something. Oh no, because they get that anyway. Maybe let the galaxy burn will be the replacement for like the exploding sixes that they currently have.
Maybe that's actually not a bad prediction, to be honest. Something like that. So there's going to be, and look, the stratagem support for these guys, I reckon, is just going to be absolutely bonkers. So it's good. It's good. Like everyone's kind of poo-pooing, especially even Chaos players, even in the Discord and stuff. They're talking about, Games Workshop doesn't care about Chaos players. I don't know. I reckon they might not care on the surface, but the love's going to be there. You just might have to work for it a little bit harder than Imperium players. Or
Chaos demands you work for your power.
Yeah, they do. Of course they do.
Corn's like
makes total sense.
Like, if you want a good axe, you gotta bring me a nice skull.
That's it. You know it. Except for Nurgle. Nurgle's just like everyone be happy, love everyone, and just be awesome.
Also, he's AIDS.
He's so good. Fuck off. All right. Well, before we kick on, we'll hear some words from Tim. a Dice Arcade, and we'll be back to talk about the
Games.
botched. I mean the good video games that are coming out in the future. So we'll see you in a second.
dicearcade.com.au. All the biggest brands in miniatures and wargaming. Free postage over $250.
Thanks, Tim, for that beautiful words about the beautifulness of Dice Arcade. For all your hobby needs, be sure to hit him up because he's a legend.
Yes.
All right. So, we all know that Space Marine 2 is coming out, and the trailer was great. We haven't heard anything else about that. Whatever. We don't know, right? There's no official further news on what the go is there. Fine. Good. Whatever.
Just a sick trailer and
that was it.
Yeah, that's it.
So we did get, however, a trailer for a game called Bolt Gun, which
yeah
is, so for those of you who don't know, it's essentially what?
Essentially,
Oh,
Doom. So if you're born circa 2002 or whatever,
no idea what we're talking about.
You have no idea what we're talking about. Go ask your parents what was Doom. They'll give you all this great content about it was the best. But like this is 2022 and we're just past that, okay? Like
it's
a shooter. It's a first person shooter.
But Quake 3
from the dawn of time.
Yes, literally like the OG style. So we're talking Quake and Doom style, fast gameplay from very retro. The art style is pretty much mimicking that OG 80s style. And it's just you running around. I'm assuming you're a Space Marine with a bolt gun. I to replicate that of the shotgun. It's a Doom clone. Let's not lie about it. It is, and I'm not talking, 2018 or 16 Doom. We're talking 1989 Doom.
Yeah.
And that's really, really, really disappointing, in my personal opinion. I think it's.
Why you do like this?
Explain me. I have very strong opinions about the pop culture that exists currently, about the nostalgia bullshit that exists. I want new things.
Have you been nostalgic for something that you weren't even there for?
No, I mean the culture. I mean the general culture of people going,
yeah, no,
let's
but
make
I mean
things
like
how they used to be because it was better. Like, fuck off.
Yeah, and also you're 18.
I'm not 18, but yeah.
No. Like the people that are perpetuating this culture, that they're like, I want to play games from the 80s or 90s or whatever. And it's like, yeah, but why? Though?
Yeah, I reckon.
How are you referencing nostalgia of something you weren't there for?
Yeah, that's definitely true.
Explain like that. There's a lot of that. Because I guarantee you, anyone who's like 35 right now is like, please give me 4K graphics so I can blow things up clearly. Like,
yeah, I reckon.
The 1% of 35-year-olds that want to play Doom like on Atari.
Yeah, I reckon.
Like, that's all for that's. I can guarantee you a large portion of that culture is people that weren't there for the first, and they're like, oh, this is so nostalgic. I'm like,
oh yeah, 100%. Because the people who went through that going like, this was great for the time, but they're like, now I have this awesome stuff. Why would I want the old thing?
Yeah.
And I get it. It's a throwback. There's been multiple games over the years that have kind of gone back to that.
I mean, Mario Kart.
No. I mean, since like modern games that have got like modern shooters that have taken that trope and gone back and done it, and done it to great effect and whatever. But at the end of the day, like, it doesn't push the envelope. Like you have an injection, and we're gonna cover a lot of. There's a general sense to this, which is basically Games Workshop or the Warhammer brand is sitting at a precipice where they could really maximize and really push the IP into a new frontier that could really define it as what they seem is their intention to be, perceived as, i.e. things like what they're doing with Hammer and Bolter and all these TV shows and all these kinds of things. And it just seems whenever they come to their games, they just, I don't know, don't respect the art form of making games, or they don't understand how it is, or whatever it is.
The other thing that I don't understand is why are you making turn-based games? I have a
I
turn-based
haven't
game
gotten
at
there
home
yet.
called
Hold
40K.
on, because that is coming, and that is going to be brutal, and I'm going to lose my mind when we touch on that one.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. It looks cool. You'll play it for a bit. It'll be fun. You'll get bored. There'll be no progression. It'll be lame. It'll be whatever.
I'll play it if it's free.
It's a cash grab, and that's what I look at it. The moment I see anything that's like this, is a nostalgic cash grab, which personally I don't agree with. I think as a consumer of content and as part of a community and a faction that and an IP that I absolutely adore, I want to see them explore it on their own terms, in their own way, but with the knowledge and an effort of people that are successful in that industry. And they've done things like that where they've taken Astartes and Exodite devs and amalgamated them into their cells. They're trying to do something different. I get it. Whatever. Cool. Hats off for that. But I don't know. It was really disappointing that couple $1 million or whatever they've done to drop into that.
It's probably like 50, 60 bucks.
Oh, 100% it will be. It'll probably be $90 on release. But
No, 50 bucks to make.
No, games take a lot of money and time to make, mate.
Not that one.
But I look at that and I go, it's wasted opportunity, for them to be able to push their IP further. But that's just my personal opinion. I'm sure people are going to hate on me going, Locky, you're a fucking idiot, shut up. That's fine. Yeah, and then on top of that, they also have another game coming out, which I didn't know.
No.
I actually didn't know until you told me.
Yeah, well, it only got... I only saw a thing for it today because we were like, okay, tonight we're going to talk about, 40K games, and I was just making sure that I was across what is coming up. And then I saw 2 days ago there was a release for Rogue Trader, and I'm like, oh, what is this? Like, I don't know. I guess I just missed it entirely.
So, for anyone who's not aware, and look, I know most of you probably are listening, and you're probably like, "Oh, we don't want to go through what Rogue Trader is." So, Rogue Trader, just a quick, I guess, 1980s to now. Rogue Trader was the OG Warhammer 40,000. So, Rogue Trader was brought out, I think, in 87 or 86 as a RPG turn-based game, which was coming off the coattails of D&D. And it was Games Workshop's way of kind of, creating their universe and whatever. It was very RPG driven in the tabletop sense of an RPG, not the video game sense of an RPG. And then that paved the way for it to, morph into Warhammer 40,000, and that was second edition. So first edition actually was Rogue Trader, yada yada.
Rogue Trader,
whatever.
Like it is the
it is the first edition.
precursor to it's
yeah.
It's the oest of G's.
And then, so that was that. Now, Rogue Traders in the lore are basically humans that have a extreme amount of power.
Given,
yeah.
They have an Emperor-given document that allows them to roam the galaxy and basically do whatever the fuck they want.
Yeah. So, and this is kind of come from... It's actually really cool because actually Rogue Traders are kind of drawn historically from the pirates of the... Well, I think anyway, from the pirates of the colonial days where like the English and French Navy were actually employing pirates to do kind of espionage and like, crazy things and, political movements and stuff like that. Like anyone who doesn't know about pirate history, go do a little bit because that's basically what they did is they employed them.
We can't handle this problem by ourselves, so we will just employ criminals to do it for us.
Exactly, and that's pretty much what it is as a concept in 40K, right? So in the current state of 40K, it's where they're pretty much aristocrats. They hold this status level. They're extremely wealthy. They have ships that are the size of hive cities. It's ridiculous, right? Yeah, and normally they're on the fringes, right? So they're not in centralized space. They're out on the fringes. They're doing dealings with Xenos. They're even like doing stuff with Chaos.
Yeah, they're buying like Tau railguns and putting them on their ships, and and no one can stop them. Like
Yeah.
Inquisition's like, "Excuse me, pull over," and he pulls out his letter of marque, and he's like, "Actually, I can have these, and there's nothing you can do about it."
Or he just legs it to the Halo stars and is like, yeet, come get me, bro. Like, whatever.
I will pop you out of the sky.
So anyway, my point in saying this is that there is there's decades of lore building, of culture, of
Content,
within this concept of a character or an idea to build on. And you'd think, okay, we have a game, i.e. tabletop game, that is turn-based, right? You take turns and we do stuff. We have a video game now that we want to make, and we want to build it around this idea of you being a rogue trader, and you're creating your own story and
stuff.
Yeah. And you think, okay, what games have been really successful with RPG elements? I'm thinking games like, some of the Assassin's Creed games, Fallout games, even like Elden Ring and stuff like that. Where you're taking this character, Mass Effect, whatever, taking this character, creating amazing stories, making it your own, building on it, gameplay-wise, lore-wise, whatever. But instead, we're just going to make it a turn-based game again, and I can't...
With an art style the art style's not crash hot at all.
It's very stylized. It's a very stylized art style. Even the trailer is bought. I mean, it's not cel shaded, but it's that Hammer and Bolter style, hand drawn artistic style art style, right? And I just go, another turn-based game where they've just missed the absolute mark of what the fucking audience wants. The audience, whether they're part of 40K or not, the gaming audience does not want more turn-based games. I don't care if you like, they're not good. Like, they're good, they can be good, but they're not the best way to explore what the 40K verse is. I look back at Fire Warrior and even Space Marine 1, and you look at those games that were immersive as shit. Like, Fire Warrior definitely doesn't hold up to current standards, right? It's a very old PlayStation 2 game. It's ridiculous. But it was sick. Like being a Fire Warrior, and then you were shooting guardsmen the whole time, and it was insane. The moment when you get into later game, you have to fight Space Marines. Like, oh my god, this is ridiculous. It was just awesome. It was so awesome, and they need, as in Games Workshop / Warhammer community, whatever, needs a video game to be their poster child for how they're going to approach the gaming market. And I say this understanding that Space Marine 2 is on the horizon, and that's probably going to be their flagship product for that. And I get that. It looks amazing. At the end of the day, though, it's still going to be a hack and slash game, which is probably going to have certain level of substance, but isn't going to appease the audience that really want to deep dive. We're talking like cinematic dialogue. We're talking... quest lines that diverge. We're talking actual player agency on the character and the world that you're in. Doesn't necessarily have to be open world. Like, you can kind of make it a little bit more linear or whatever as best you can. I'm not going as far as saying like Last of Us style. I mean, that would be amazing. Like, absolutely amazing if you had a game where you were
like a cinematic interactive experience
with amazing gameplay as a rogue trader. The rogue trader aspect is great. Massive tick. I think games in 40K are better sold and make more sense when you're on the human side rather than
human.
Yeah, when you're on the
like not Space Marine, not superhuman or godly. Like when you're just a fucking pleb,
a dude,
and you've got to make your way in this universe.
And
that's where, because that's where people connect with human feelings.
Yeah,
like a Space Marine is very one-dimensional. Even a Chaos Space Marine is like at best two-dimensional.
Well, you lack relatability to it, and I think that's where they're really successful with Space Marine, is because they're like, right, You're just this big bulky space marine. You're overpowered as shit. Go and kill a bunch of stuff. And they've I reckon they've knocked it out of the park with the structure of that game. It's perfect. Like the Space Marine 1 was great exactly for what it was. It didn't take itself too seriously. It was tongue in cheek. There was humor. It was great. Like it really was. And I really hope the 2 is very similar. But when I look at this, of like, okay, you're in the world now of, you can really sink your teeth in here. From a development point of view, from an audience point of view, and from a player point of view, you can really sink your teeth into like really quality story. And look, it might have it, but I just don't think you get that from turn-based gameplay. You just don't.
No.
Now, I'm not saying that you need to go as far and say it needs to be, Dark Tide level gameplay either, because that also does the inverse, right? Instead, it detracts from it because it's too chaotic. But an action RPG like the Fallout template, or like I said previously,
well,
any of those
in my head, you're getting that sort of darker element of Fallout. Like, this is what I would want: the darker elements of Fallout. In the Mass Effect setting, where you've got the ship, because you're a rogue trader, you've got the ship that you can upgrade, and or like what was it, Assassin's Creed Black Flag, where you could upgrade
the pirate
the ship as well. Yeah. So like that would be a big part of it, because rogue traders obviously get their cash.
It'd be amazing.
And you upgrade like from Mass Effect, the people that come on your missions with you.
Yeah,
you can, like,
you get your dossiers. You got to get all your people and who you choose and why, and then
like a freebooter. Imagine having a freebooter, like, and he just, if you don't sort of like give him enough teeth, he'll just fuck off mid-mission and just like ruin your day.
So like anyone who's, and I'm not going to spoil some of the current lore, but the latest I think it's Gate of Bones, but the latest Dawn of Fire novel, which is actually really good, by the way. Anyone who hasn't read that, go and read that. It's really good. But it's a continuation of Inquisitor Rostov, and he has this entourage of just like an amalgamation of mixed people. He has an alien with him, and she has she's like an unknown alien, or not unknown, but like a no way alien that was just mutilated by the Imperium, but like carries like a Imperial.
What are you? Let's find out. Cut it open.
Yeah, like has like a Tau rail rifle and stuff like that. You know what I mean? So those kinds of things would be so cool. And I mean, I don't want to keep ranting, but my point is that they had the opportunity. Going, cool. We're going to do a Rogue Trader game. Great, tick, amazing. We're going to do it. We're going to explore. I would do it from an up and coming point of view, where they're coming, they've just got their first ship, and because there's interfighting with the rogue traders, right? There's like I said, they're aristocratic, right? So but the aristocratic
their houses,
the aristocratic nature comes from their wealth and how they show it off, and the kinds of daring runs they do, and who they help. You could have a morality system. You could have so much built into a great RPG game, but done in a way where the gameplay is fucking engaging. 40k at Games Workshop. It's already a turn-based game. I don't want more of the same shit. Like, fuck me.
I can play 40k at home.
With my friends, exactly.
That meme where it's like, we have 40k at home. Well, at this point, we actually have 40k at home.
It's really...
But
yeah, it's upsetting. It really is.
To move into a more positive note, though.
Okay.
Dark Tide.
Yeah.
Is exactly
the opposite.
What it says it's going to be. Like, no, it's not an RPG. No, it's not probably going to be super deep. But it's exactly what it says on the box, and like, it's going to be sick.
So we definitely know there is RPG elements to Dark Tide. For example, we know that you can build your...
But not narrative RPG.
No.
Progressive RPG, you do X missions, you unlock Y stats or buffs or whatever.
So it'll be a linear game. So the game story-wise will be linear. It'll be mission driven. It won't be an open sandbox, all those kinds of things. But we do know, like, if you go to the website, you can choose your class. So there are confirmed classes. You can, create your character. We don't know how detailed that's going to be, but it does say unique character, customize their physical appearance, voice, and origin, whatever. That's very on the surface. Cool, fine. They're just ticking that box for in reality it's going to be ideally co-op to 4-player style
Yeah,
40k.
so you're going to want to get the boys together and just
Or girls.
slay some heretics.
Mm.
Yeah, well, we don't. We're just going to get some people together. It's 2022. We're not going to. Yeah, just maybe we're going to get some mutants together and play Darktide.
Exactly, and I feel like when you look at the trailers,
Having a third arm helps.
100%. You look at everything. I get massive Left 4 Dead vibes.
Yes.
And anyone who's played Left 4 Dead is just the absolute world of fun to play with your mates. Like it's legendary. It's sick. It's intense. It's high stakes. There's risk and reward. It's great. It just is. And I really hope that was the template that they've built this around, and it follows that.
I mean, I feel like it's just going to be a more refined, reskinned Vermintide. And Vermintide was just like that. Vermintide was sick. Vermintide 2, like, you run around, you just hack stuff to bits, get it done, and so much fun with friends. And I think with Darktide, they're just going to take everything that was good from that, put it in a 40k setting, and then adds probably, some more RPG elements to make it even more engaging. It's going to be good, and it's going to be 100% one of those things you want to play with friends, for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, I've played a little bit of Vermintide just like by myself, particularly when I was just trying to understand like how to play, and it's definitely doable by yourself, but like with the squad is where it's at.
Yeah. And that's cool. Like I said, like this game knows what it is. It's not taking itself too seriously. It's a bit OTT. Whatever. It's fine. And literally everything you said, if you go to the website right now, everything that you just said, Jake, it's literally on the website. Like more or less, like that's the cliff notes of it. Yeah. But having said that, we're still yet to find a game, period. And I would happily say he's playing a lot of 40k games over the years, that you can turn to from a good narrative experience where you can sink your teeth in and go, I'm going to do my 10th playthrough, I'm going to pick a different character, and I'm going to get a different experience. And look, I understand that studios are not lining up to win IP contracts for Games Workshop, for Warhammer. And at the same time, I do understand that Games Workshop is tentatively entering the video game market.
Well, the funny thing is, Darktide was like entirely independent. I'm pretty sure.
No, it's still backed by Games Workshop. It's still funding it. They got to make money off it, so it's not nothing. So the production company, i.e., so the development company is whatever, the same company that made Vermintide, whatever.
Yeah.
But it's a licensed product, and that's Fat Shark is the dev company, right? So. Yep. For those of you who aren't aware, that like it depends. It depends on the way that the licensing works, and this is one of the biggest, I guess, community criticism over the years of 40k games, or even just Warhammer games, is that basically what they've done is they've taken their fee for the license and just let these dev companies have free reign, and haven't therefore done justice to the product and the IP that they're making it for. And where there's games that have had extreme contradictions of all sorts of bits and pieces and not selling the idea and yada yada whatever. And Relic was the one that really kind of, I guess, set the bar for a lot, which was the Dawn of War series.
Yeah, they did well.
Amazingly well, and then they butchered it. And there's a bit of politics in there. And I actually don't necessarily know if that was them as a dev company. I can't say whether that was actually them or not, but when they shifted away from base building and went into micro RTS, it was bad choice. But there were a few games at the time that were kind of making some success. I think it was like Company of Heroes or whatever, which was one of those in the World War II setting. It was the same time that D2 came out, Dawn of War 2 came out. And StarCraft 2 hadn't come out yet, or just was, or whatever. Anyway, so the industry at the time was, I think, moving away from the standard RTS base building, and then it's had a big resurgence in the last 5 years. So that obviously directs a lot in terms of what is successful or not. But personally, I would just want Games Workshop to have a more hands-on approach to the video games and where they license their IP to, and go, is this actually the message that we want to be sending, or the experience we want to be giving, or whatever it is, because they had that battle sector game, right, which was the Space Marine vs Tyranids one, which is just the other stupid turn-based game, and you're like, we don't, whatever, cool. And then they did, like, Dark Crusade was successful, or whatever, the Mechanicum one, whatever it was, I can't remember.
Gladius.
Yeah, that, right? That did well-ish for their numbers. And then this one came out. And then there was the Necromunda game. And then there was what's the latest one? The GK one. And you just, Chaos Gate or whatever. Yeah. And you're like, guys, like, why? I watched that trailer and I was like, hell yeah, the cinematic trailer. I'm like, I'm so keen to be a Grey Knight. Take me from a Space Marine initiate. I want third-person combat where I can proc psychic powers with my D-pad, and I can be doing all this thing, and I can level up my psychic, or I can just not push into my psychic, and I can level up my shooting ability and have like Psy Cannon, and I can upgrade to Terminator armor, and then I can push into different force weapons and gain relics. I'm like, sick! Oh, it's fucking turn-based. Well, fuck off.
I can play Grey Knights at home.
Sorry, I'm just like, well, I didn't buy the game, did I?
No.
Like,
no. As soon as they tell me it's turn-based,
I don't care.
Like, yeah.
Don't care. And
like that's why I played the tabletop, because it's turn-based.
Exactly.
Please fill the other void of being able to be the character now. Like, computer games is where you want to be the fucking hero, right?
Yeah.
Like, you want to be the fucking hero. Why are you moving around 10 plebs in a squad on a board?
Yeah.
Like I can literally do that in my garage or in the studio, or
on TTS in the Discord, where you have 10 other people with you, yammering, drinking beers, talking whatever, having a good yarn, like, I want to.
But computer games is a computer game is your ability to be the hero you could never be, like, in real life. Like, you can't just summon lightning from your brain, but a computer game lets you do that.
Yeah, you've hit the nail on the
head. But
instead
it's like roll this dice in this game to move 5 squares, and you're like, no.
Yeah, I reckon.
Like, that's not lightning coming out my face.
Yeah, I reckon. Yeah, man, I think your idea of saying, I want to, video games help you escape to be that hero is spot on. Like, it just is. I always say, like, personally, I don't play sport games. Like, personally, I don't play sport games because I don't understand sport games when I can just go and play the sport, right? Like,
just play basketball.
Yeah, just actually, I'll just go down and shoot hoops with my friends. But I can't pick up, I can't drive an M1 Abrams tank and go blow up an APC in, Battlefield or whatever. Or I can't be Master Shepard and, help save the whole universe from the Reapers. Like that's, like you said, that's what you want. That's what's engaging. That's what people like. And if they want to push...
Or the flip side, and we just have to bring it up for comedy's sake. You can go steal a car and rob a bank, but doing it in GTA is much easier.
It's much easier, and there's no risk, right?
Yeah, and on the flip side, like, imagine if you're a rogue trader and you could just go down that bad path, right?
Yeah, it's
like, and that would be sick. Like, you just be an intergalactic criminal. Like, Eldar are after you,
the Inquisition's after you.
The Inquisition. Like, imagine if that was a game path where you could be like, you were just doing bad things with chaos in this game. Like, how sick would that be? Like,
imagine this,
where you had the option to be the baddest motherfucker in the galaxy.
Imagine this, right? So you're rogue trader, and you could double it out and have both, right? Where you have the mini game inside the big game. So the mini game is basically kind of like Battlefleet style, where you get a galaxy map, you choose which planet to go to. Oh, this planet's Imperium or whatever, and then there's something on there that you won or you've led to. You go, okay, well, I'm gonna just come in from the Mandeville Point, fly in, and then we're gonna land and do stuff. But because you've got a bad rep, you get caught by something. And then the moment it goes in, you get a choice. Like, all right, do we take the easy slot? Do we like knock out this listening station and give yourself more time or whatever? You have to do prep stuff. And then when you go down onto the mission to actually activate your third person RPG mission or whatever it is that you're actually going to do, you've got a time limit because the Inquisition knows you're there, and then you've got to get there at a certain time, and then it can change the stipulation of mission design and actually what you're doing, but it's engaging, and then it makes player agency really important on how you choose your character to do and what to do and all these bits and pieces. You can even link political nature where, like, for example, you go on some some other mission, you go and help some demonic incursion, right? Where you help the ecclesiarchy somewhere, and you've got something that you can use that delays that time or that helps you.
You help the ecclesiarchy, and now you get to bang a sister of battle.
I mean, yeah, okay, maybe, yeah, you could do that.
I mean.
But I look at this, and maybe this is the game dev in me, right? But I look at this and I go, you have so much content and so much justifiable world-building reason to make some amazing gameplay for a really cohesive like story experience where you can create your own story and get somewhere. And it's just not there. And devs would love it. Like, even though there might not be their original IP, but their ability as a designers to go, you essentially can do whatever the fuck you want because you can justify it by the stupidity that is 40k, right? Like, it's just nothing's above board. You can be like, oh, well, we want to make this one mission really stupid. Well, randomly at some point, Carbander's there.
Well, no, we don't want that.
Whatever, you know what I mean? Like,
but you get involved with like grots or something.
Yeah.
And like you get involved with grots because they're like you're after a relic or you're after some big, and there's just like grots there, and they're just doing all sorts of rubbish behavior, like.
So you could do things on that, right? You could do things where, like, okay, if you choose to do certain missions based on what you do, if they're Xenos missions and you're found to be helping Xenos a bit more, you might attract the attention of the Death Watch, and then vice versa, you might actually be able to get help from Eldari, or, obviously no one's helping Necron, so, like, they have big bads, or you could literally build.
Oh, bro. Like, end game mission, is it Trazen that has all the stuff?
Yeah.
Like all the stuff locked?
Yeah.
Bro.
He's the collector from Marvel, yeah.
Yeah, like imagine you get down with the Eldar enough, you get to like go raid Trazen's basement or something.
And just I don't know, I was a big Destiny player for a really long time, and I look at what they've done, and they've had roadblocks along the way. They've made some bad choices and yada yada whatever. But overall, like, the depth of the game is just amazing. And the thing is, you could tell the 40k lore, canon or not, and expand on it in ways that is just amazing. For example, instead of writing a whole book or a short story or something, you could be like, you find some parchment document which is 10,000 years old and it's been hunted by the word bearers or something like that, and it's actual real
100
lore.
words.
Yeah, but it's like real. It's like some random short snippet thing, or it's something connected to the Leagues of Votan, or it's connected to Tyrant invasion of like the first OG experience of Tyranids or whatever. You could just explore the world and the universe in such a level of depth that you just can't get in a book, that you can't get in a TV show, that you can't get anywhere else that you get from video games. And I just hate the fact that it's missed. And
yeah,
I do not think that I'm the only person that has this perspective on the development and the exploration of video games in this universe, because
there are games out there that are to this scale, i.e. Destiny. Destiny 2, like, it can be done.
Oh, massive.
100% it can be done. And particularly, like, if you were in a setting, maybe now we're not rogue traders as a setting, right? But like,
yeah, now we've kind of moved on a bit to 40k and such. But
but
whatever,
like
be an Inquisitor.
a Destiny scale of like
But
concept.
now you're talking about $250 million, yeah?
Yeah, because they don't have it.
Well, they might have it, mate, but they don't have it to drop on a game that might not do well, right? Look, I'm a realist. I understand. Like this is us having a little bit of a rant, well, having a big rant about this, but at the same time, you got to understand it's all within reason. And like I said, I do think Space Marine 2 is gonna alleviate a lot of people that sit on the same side of the fence as us, right? But it's gonna hit a point where eventually, and it will do well. Space Marine 2 will do really well.
Oh yeah, I'll buy it.
I'll buy it off the bat just because it'll just be sick, and I want to chomp Tyranids, and hopefully in the multiplayer I can play as Tyranids where I can be a Hive Tyrant and I can smash people. I'll 100%
be a
do
Hive Tyrant. Fucking serious. That's hilarious.
I don't know.
Oh, actually, what's that game? Imagine if they had a version in Space Marine 2. You know that horror game where like one person has to be the psycho killer and the other four have to like...
what was it called? It wasn't Hunt. Hunt was the Western one.
Yeah.
Oh, it was on Xbox. Yeah. And then you could morph.
Oh, it's on PC as well.
Yeah, but well, that's because Microsoft Xbox. Yeah, I remember that. It was
so one person was the
one was the
psycho killer
monster.
and the other...
No, one was the the monster, and you could when you killed players, you'd morph and you'd grow and get bigger.
No, we're not talking about the same game, but we are talking about the same concept. Anyway, imagine that.
What was that game?
In Space Marine 2?
Yeah,
and one person gets to play
be the Nid. Yeah, be the Nid.
Be like and you get to be like a Hive Tyrant or a Carnifex or
well, you'd have to be a Synapse creature, so you'd start as like a well, it doesn't really work either in the lore because really they don't evolve, like they're just born as organisms as they are. Anyway, doesn't matter. I get it. It'd be sick.
Yeah, no, but like you start off as like a warrior, and then you go back to the spawning pool. If you win, you get to jump in the spawning pool and come out as something else.
Yeah, or if you kill enough. Like, so you start as a Hormigón, right? And you'd be super fast, and you kill a couple people, and it'd kind of be like the zombie mode in Halo or whatever it was. Like when you infect enough people, then you get so it'd be like you kill enough people, even if you die, then you go back. You have enough like requisition points or like whatever to then turn to become a warrior, and then it will depend on your loadout. And then as a warrior, then you can like this time you die, but then you come back with a venom cannon or like whatever, and then. Yeah, I think there's just so much potential.
That'd be really cool.
That'd be really cool.
I would love if they put and then the other four like Space Marines and they had to like hunt you.
Yeah.
But you obviously got as the Nid player, you got like a heap of advantages, obviously.
Yeah.
And that would just be a really cool like mini game to have where oh man, that'd be so much fun. I'd be so down for that.
You'll be really sick. And
then the Space Marines get upgrades as well, right? So like when you're a Hive Tyrant, they're Terminators.
Well, it depends on how well they've done. Like I think it would have to be yin and yang, right? But the other thing I think would be really cool is actually, look, these style of games they're probably, in my opinion, the hardest type of game to design, which is horror games. From trying to design them myself to playing them and all
a lot of them are shite.
If you could do a Dead Space style game, but you're right, so this is what Deathwing should have been, right? Not a shoot hack and slash, but you're a solo Terminator, right? Where your whole squad has been obliterated by Gene Stealers, and you're on your own on this Space Hulk. And the only way you get better is by progressing through the Hulk, where you're finding better tech and you're finding, Dark Age of Technology tech. So you're getting like these crazy new guns and as you're moving forward. And it's literally like Dead Space. So it's Dead Space, 40k skinned, but you're a Deathwing Terminator and you're against Gene Stealers and the Nids.
The other aspect of that you could go down as well if you were just a guardsman. And you did
in a hard world. Yeah,
40k Alien Isolation. Have you played Alien Isolation?
Yeah.
Oh man, bro, that was a great game. And then eventually, by the end of Alien Isolation, it's like once you got that big ass flamethrower, you could sort of tangle with the Xenomorph a little bit.
But you could do the same thing.
But you had to work so hard to get that.
Yeah, you did. Yeah, but you could.
And it felt when you finally got it, it was so rewarding to be able to finally like defend yourself, like. It's a 20-hour game, and 15 of those hours you're shitting your pants running from this Xenomorph.
So
and that was
realistically,
the timing was perfect.
You could do that, even just Space Marine on Chaos Space Marine. So think about it. You're on a small frigate. You're a squad of 5 on an Imperial ship. You go through the warp. Everyone's killed through crazy shit that's happening in the warp. It's not part of the game. That's the preamble.
That's a yeah.
You come out of the warp. You could even put it in Imperial Nihilus, put it in whatever, and you're on your own on this own. And there's maybe like a couple key people, like the captain's there, or like you got one navigator and you got whatever.
Yeah.
All right, so your ship's home base, but you're being hunted by Space Marines, or you're on a battle barge or whatever, massive ship, and you're being hunted by like Night Lords, and there's like 3 squads of them, and the whole story is basically you trying to figure out what happened. And you could look in things like betrayal and like, the Night Lords are actually there from the beginning and like all these other bits and pieces. Like the story, you could make it as linear as you wanted, but do it in first person or do it in third person and like engaging gameplay where I'm thinking like Doom 3 style, like from the PC, where you like, even like Resident Evil and Silent Hill style, like games where you're going into rooms and you're trying to find like command logs and you're trying to find like information about what happened and who's where, and you have to get because you're not in your armor when it all happens, and you kind of wake up and you're like, what, you're like in your Bacta tank or what. I know that's Star Wars, but whatever.
Or like you start off as a scout and you don't even have full armor.
Yeah, so then it's kind of like you earning it yourself, or those kinds of things. Like that is just
I want to play that game.
Yeah, right. Like how sick is that?
I want to play that game. You're a scout being hunted by Night Lords, like
inside a ship, like inside an Imperial ship that's been infiltrated by Night Lords, or even Alpha Legion, or whatever, like whoever. Yeah. There's just so much potential to explore the universe in the small, in the large, in the ultra large scale, and these fucking turn-based games. I'm sorry, they don't do it. They don't do it. And they don't sell well enough. They don't sell. They just, compared to other games that exist at decent level production value, they don't. And I don't get why they keep doing them. I just don't understand.
Yeah. So next week it'll be an Eldar turn-based game.
Maybe.
No, not really.
So when's Darktide coming out? Darktide's coming out September, yeah? It's September or something?
Yeah, and I'm so pumped because we've got that many people in the Discord. Board, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes.
There's going to be Darktide everywhere. No one's going to be
No one's been playing 40k for a while.
For a while. Like there's going to be at least a month of we're playing Darktide tonight, right?
We'll have a Darktide channel too, which will probably be like all the meta builds and the meta weapons, and it'll be buck wild. It'll be crazy.
Yeah. And it'll just be get trashed and play Darktide.
Yeah, 100%.
Till like 2 a.m. You going out this weekend? No, I got
Darktide, bro. Yeah. So sorry everybody for the massive rant, but I just feel that
you know what though, that rant developed
done,
into so many cool ideas though. Like
look, I learned from years at uni and then working in the games industry that ideas are nothing until you act on them. At the end of the day, like it's all good and well for me to say, oh, this is what they should do, but I'm not an investor. I don't control the money that they have. At the end of the day, let's not be naive about it. They want to make money, whatever. But
But if they want to make money, stop releasing turn-based games. You fucking dickheads.
Well, that's what I say. I've always said, even publicly, that if you want to make money, make a quality product, and you build it, they will come. However, whatever analogy you want to use for that, it holds value. It's legitimate because it works, and we know it works. Yeah. So Valve and Blizzard have money because they make quality games, or they've built quality systems for people to make money on. Either or, whatever, right? So just do that. Yeah, like learn from the people that have done it better than you, that know it better than you. Don't try and reinvent the wheel, and stop making fucking turn-based games, guys.
Just don't do it.
Thank you, everybody, for listening to the Fiscarillas podcast. Be sure. Look, like I said, 100% we're gonna have a big Darktide experience
extravaganza.
Yeah, it's gonna be huge. We might even We might even do a Dark Tide stream on release. Oof. Did I just say that publicly? Yeah, I did.
Yes.
So
I'm
we...
actually so down for that.
Yeah, we will actually. 100%. We'll do it and we'll stream it through whatever. Even if I have to just stream my account or whatever. One of the bunch of Risky Roller staff will be streaming, and we'll do a Dark Tide stream.
Where can we stream it? The YouTube or?
Yeah, be through the YouTube. So we'll stream
yeah.
stream through YouTube or Twitch. I'm not sure yet, but probably be YouTube.
Well,
a stream. Come and see us, and which will probably be me. It'll be me playing, me being ridiculous, me ranting.
Well, I mean, it'll be you hosting the stream, but like we can get 4 of us to play. Right?
Yeah. So we'll play in a crew. We'll play the 4 of us.
Yeah.
Probably be you, me, Dalton, and Charlie. I'd say. Yeah,
Charlie
probably be
plays
Charlie
games,
because
yeah.
Charlie plays heaps of games. So probably be the 4 of us, and then and I'll stream it. And come
Make
join
Charlie
it.
stream it. Actually, he's got the most powerful computer.
I don't know, mine's pretty good. His is better, but mine's good. Yeah, so, and to be part of that, also, jump on the Discord. There's so much happening there. It's been really good to see everyone kind of amalgamate there and people that are playing at VTC. And just as always, if you want to get on top of our tournaments that are coming up, we do have an event in August. Our GT is coming, and we're working with a whole bunch of people inside the competitive Victorian scene to make that as best as possible. There's going to be our flagship, I guess, event to put us on the main stage. We really want to showcase that that is going to be a ranked, potentially ITC event through BCP and everything. So when that comes up, and there will be stuff that is probably coming out for that in the next couple of weeks, i.e. player pack and details. Keep your eyes and ears out for that, and if you're listening to this and not part of the Discord, jump on the Discord, because the first round of spots always goes to Discord members. It's free to join the Discord. You don't have to be a patron or anything like that. Big thanks to our patrons. Without you all, it isn't possible. So big thanks to all the support there, and big thanks to Harry P. Harry P. For being a new patron. You're a legend. On top of that, any miniatures or scenery stuff that you need, be sure to hit up Tim from Dice Arcade as well as Tim from Miniature Scenery. You need mats, hit up Jack from Battle Maps. Come to our events. It's great. We're doing a whole bunch of stuff. Come see our Instagrams, like, share, watch our bat raps. You know the spiels, everybody. Sorry for a big one. But sorry, not sorry. Kind of think it was needed. I think our opinions were very clearly stated. And come back next week. I think next week we will be going deep dive into pairings process and how teams structures work.
I'm going to have to listen to that, because while I'm familiar roughly, I feel like there's going to be a lot of content in there that even is over my head.
Oh, they 100% will be. The fact that you don't even know how it works is crazy. I mean, I don't even know how it works. I get the gist of it, but I just write.
I get the gist. The only thing I didn't understand was that, like the initial, who puts up the initial. But now I'm across that. I understand roughly how it works, but the minutiae of it, no idea.
Well, in reality, I'll probably fucking butcher that anyway, and Dalton's probably like, why did you say that shit? That's probably so wrong. So,
and no one will know that you admitted that unless they listen to this entire podcast.
I know, right? Well, no worries. Thanks everybody for listening. We love you. We love for all your support. Be sure to check out the bat reps coming out, and we'll see you on the next one.
See ya.
Bye.